We're going to talk about how to take a recording from a Google Meet and bring it into WeVideo and edit it down into a mini lesson. So I have signed into WeVideo using my school Gmail credentials. You can see I'm on my dashboard. New video, and I'm going to go ahead and put that into my mini lessons project. You might have yours set differently. And you see it drops me with a blank timeline and all of this sample stock media. I'm going to click on the My Media tab. And you'll see here's all the media I already have loaded, and I have this import button, the cloud with the arrow inside it. And I can import from Drive. You see my little Drive triangle down here? If I click Browse to select, it's going to browse the hard drive of my computer, but Google puts all of your recorded meets in a folder on your drive. So I'm going to grab that. And you can see here are all of my folders, and there's my meet recording. So I'm going to look in there for the meet that I want. Now it identifies these by meet code, and then it timestamps them. I, for the most part, have gone through and renamed my class meetings just to make them a little bit easier to find. But I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these. Select. And that's going to upload that from my Google Drive into my WeVideo media. And you can see it's working on it now. It has a little blue line chasing underneath that shows that it's trying to import that. So once that's imported, I can grab it and drag it. I'll usually put it in video 1. Because that's going to give me the option to add titles or other text on top. I can take my playhead, which is the blue line, and I can scrub across, and you'll see that it's showing me the preview here. I'm going to scrub across until I kind of find what I want to talk about. So I know in our meets, we have a lot of conversation with our students, etc. Scrub through until you get to the part that you want to actually keep for your mini lesson. And you'll see that there's a little time stamp here on the playhead. I can click this scissors to cut, and then I'll click on the piece I don't want and just hit the delete button or the backspace key to get rid of it. And I'll bring this back up to the front, and I will continue to scrub through. Now I can tap the space bar to play and stop that clip. I can also use this play button over here in the preview, and it'll play from where the playhead is resting.
You do that directly.
I like using the space bar because for me, it's just a little bit more, I'm quicker with my fingers. What you might notice, depending how long your meet was, this could be very long. You might have trouble cutting down to exactly the moment you want, in which case you can expand here. So I can stretch this out so that I have much more precision here over exactly where I want to cut. So if you're trying to cut out the students talking and student faces and things like that, you can get very precise with where you want to cut. So let's say I do want to keep this piece over here, but then there's some material that I don't want. I can go ahead and zip through that. You'll notice that my scissors are grayed out. That's because, see this little yellow box? That's the piece that's currently selected and active. So I'm going to need to click this piece. That's why I'm saying keep an eye on this little timestamp here, because when I click, it might move a little bit. So now you see my scissors are active because this is a selected clip. I can cut it. I'm going to get rid of that piece, and I'm going to do this over and over. Don't try to make it perfect. Broad strokes here, folks, right? You don't need to feel the need to put lots of fancy transitions in or whatever. Just go in and chop up your clip however you need to. And if you end up fine tuning like, oh, I was totally tripping over my words there, let me cut out just that small piece. You can do that and just bring it together. I know when I was working off of one of the trainings we did from our staff meeting, I took an hour-long meeting and I trimmed it into about 14 minutes or 16 minutes of content. So I expect with your mini lessons for your class, it might be even shorter. Once you've got your main trimming done, if you've zoomed in, it might be hard to find the end of your clip. You can shrink that back down and it'll tighten up. So now you'll see as I'm scrubbing across, I'm going by much larger time increments here. There's almost always junk at the end that I don't want, that I need to clip out, especially during a meet when you're saying goodbye to students, trying to get them off the meet so you can leave, etc. When you're all finished with this, if you want to add some titles or I can come over here to text. You can add motion titles if you like, or you can just add static text. And you'll notice that as I put this next to video 1, it's outlined in yellow. It's going to ask me if I want to insert it and push the other clips out of the way. And I do. And that'll make a little space for it there. So I can put the title of my mini lesson on there. And then occasionally in my video, there might be something I'm trying to highlight. And you can actually add, if I go here to call outs, I can add some things to video 2. Those are going to float on top. And you'll see that this clip is only a couple of seconds long. So it's going to play only during that certain part of my video. So if I'm trying to highlight what I want students to do and really make a moment of it, I can come in here and mark up and add some this is your information in your own words. It should be pretty long. If you like, you can add those call outs. So the thing about call outs though is they are going to float over your background video. So you do want to try to synchronize the timing of that clip of where it shows up and when it leaves so that it's on the appropriate part of your video. But once you're satisfied, you've got your titles in, you've used any call outs or markup that you like, and you want to be able to share that video with your students. I'm going to change the name of this. So I click where it says my video and I give it a meaningful name. So whatever you were teaching your mini lesson about on whatever. And then I'm going to come over and press this blue finish button. And if you have a YouTube account and you want to publish it there, that's fine. Make sure if there's any student names or images that you're publishing it as unlisted and not as public. And then you're also going to choose your Google Drive. For Seesaw, your Google Drive is going to be the friendliest way for you to get those videos to your students. Okay? And then you're going to click Export, and it's going to move that finished and edited video into your Google Drive where you can change the sharing settings and share that with your students.